Hello and welcome to Car Dealer Live. My name is James Batchelor, and today we are taking our monthly look at used car values in the trade sector. Joining me is Derren Martin, Director of Valuations at Cap HPI. Hello, Derren.
Hi, James.
Thank you for joining us as always, Derren. Let's cut straight to the chase then. So July, how has July looked in the used car market?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a tricky month, I would say, for dealers and anyone buying sort of cars in the trade, and also for sort of the retail side as well. It's been really mixed, I would say, for dealers. We've spoken to some who have a little bit disappointed with their performance. I don't think anyone is overly stocking up at the moment. So we've had a value drop this month of 1.9%, which is equivalent to about £350. That's at the 3-year point. That's obviously the average. Lots of moving parts within that. But it's been a bit of a tricky month, I would say. Continued drops from what we had in May and June. But it does kind of feel a little bit seasonal as well. It feels a little bit more like a return to pre-COVID times. Nothing massively untoward, although that 1.9% drop is above the sort of slightly above the norm for a July.
So that's the 1.9% drop is the largest drop we've had this year. Is there any cause for concern that values are now starting to fall?
No, because it's not a huge drop still. And if you look at the year in total, I mean, in overall in general, we're apart from that mental year of 2021 and a couple of other years, I think 2018, which was really strong, and the COVID year, which was very flat. It's the fourth strongest performing year out of all of those sort of last 10, 12 years. So overall, it's just a little bit of a realignment of values. Anything between 1.5% and 2%, we've got to get used to things like that. That's what used to happen with values at various times of the year. So it's not like a crash or anything ridiculous like that coming. It's a little bit of a normal sort of occurrence for the time of year. People going on holiday, less people buying. Dealers have got their eyes on September to a degree as well. No one's overstocking, and good clean cars are still selling well. There's still demand for those good clean cars, and some of what's sort of affecting it is those poorer condition cars that dealers aren't looking to buy work particularly. They don't want cars that are going to spend time in their workshop. So overall, I can't paint a positive picture, but I'm certainly not painting a negative picture.
Yeah. And it's clear, really, isn't it? This is a gradual drop off. It hasn't happened particularly fast, has it? So, and also it's worth remembering as well, used car prices are still considerably higher than they have been, pre-COVID, haven't they? So there really isn't anything to be worried about. And do you feel as though dealers aren't particularly worried about this at all? It's just seen as a bit of a realignment in the market.
Yeah, definitely. I think they might even sort of welcome it. Some cars going down. It's a fact of life. It's a return to more normality. And yeah, values do tend to come down, and it might make some of those cars more affordable for people. So I wouldn't be overly worried by anything. It is just a normal sort of occurrence in the used car market that maybe we haven't seen for 3 years. And you're right, values are nearly 30% up on average from where they were 3.5 years ago. You've got some cars that are 70% ahead of where they were that sort of time ago. We've set a new level for used car values, and now we're seeing some seasonality as they drop sort of in line with what you would normally expect.
Yeah. I know last month hybrids were the biggest fallers, weren't they? There seemed to be a big readjustment in terms of values of hybrids. Have we seen more of the same this month?
Well, hybrids have dropped by 2.1%, so they are slightly ahead of, dropped by slightly more. But it's electric vehicles again; they've dropped by 2.8%. So we thought they'd stabilised, and we're kind of in line with what's going on in the rest of the market over the last month or so. But we have seen some volatility with electric vehicle values. There's some realignment going on there, as we've been saying for the last few months. You've got some cars that haven't dropped by as much over previous months. They're now dropping by more. You have got that sort of bottom end where values are dropping, for those sort of cars with less of a range. So we have had some drops this month of, so the Citroen C0 was dropped by 10%. which sounds a lot. It's sort of £750. It's a reasonable amount. Tesla Model Y has dropped this month. Model 3 has dropped again this month. And I kind of thought Model 3 maybe was on a bit of an uptick, but it's very volatile. As you get more cars coming back in to the market, there's still some reluctance to overstock with EVs. So I think there's still some realigning there, but not everything is dropping, but there is still some realignment. Seat Me's dropped 8%, Honda E 5%. So at that bottom end, some of those cars are coming down in value, and there will probably be a realignment continuing there. Everything's got to have some relativity.
Yeah. Are you still hearing that dealers are proving to be a little bit reluctant to stock EVs, or do you think the mood is starting to change within the trade?
I would certainly say they're not overstocking. They're being wary. There's some opportunities where some of those cars have dropped in value, and we've seen that before on sort of the Model 3 has looked okay. But again, that's been dropping now. But I would be sort of dipping my toe in, buying some, not overdoing it. It still remains that there's incentives for the company car user on electric vehicles. There's not really the incentive for used car buyers, so they will sell but at a price. They work for some, they don't work for others. But we've got to embrace it. But yeah, I would still be a little bit wary about overstocking for EVs. But dealers are back in, and certainly not as it was maybe 4, 5, 6 months ago, where there were buying bans in place and nobody was touching them. They are buying them, and cars like the Leaf and the Zoe, you can move them on quite quickly, and there are opportunities in that EV world, but you've just got to be a little bit careful of not overdoing it. Just wariness really about because of what's happened in the past.
Yeah. Well, final question, Derren. I mean, moving into August, I suppose, I think I can guess what you're going to say, but we're getting ever closer to September. Prices are probably going to move again, aren't they? They're going to slip again.
Yeah, I think they probably will, but not massively. August tends to be a month where values drop only slightly. I think we might see another 1.5%, something like that, as we go through August. It's holiday season. We're right into it now. People focusing on other things, going away, and obviously dealers with an eye on September as well. I personally think we're going to have a small realignment again of values, but nothing untoward, and pretty much a continuation of a theme really from the last couple of months. And I think that might continue for a while. You're going to get more volume coming back in September, which could affect the market. Interest rates are high, fixed rate mortgages coming to an end. People are wary, but obviously the necessity purchase of a used car will still be there. So I think overall values will drop again, but nothing horrendously. The wholesale market, as I say, for those good clean cars, is strong. Dealers are out buying them, but not overdoing it. So I think I think we're in for a period of deflation for a little while. But as I said earlier, cars are more expensive than they were 3.5 years ago. They're not going to get back down to those levels. So we should just sort of embrace what's happening in the market, really.
Yeah. Well, fantastic, Derren. We'll look forward to catching up this time next month. But for today, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, James.
Well, that's it for today's Car Dealer Live. Join us again very soon. Bye-bye.